Hi, everyone. Welcome to this TED Talk, The Next Frontier, Deploying Object Storage with VMware Cloud Foundation. I'm Lawrence Chiu from Dell EMC, and here's my cohort, Gopala from VMware.
Thanks, Lawrence. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our talk. This is Gopala. I'm the product manager in VMware, focusing on stateful services and cloud-native storage. All right, so before we delve into the work that we are doing together, Dell and VMware on object storage, I would like to motivate the problem a little bit by talking about why we are building this platform and why we are integrating object stores on vSphere. What we're seeing is applications in the customer enterprises are changing. The applications that were consisting of a few VMs, depended on a few databases, were mostly easier to manage in the traditional space, are now becoming more complicated applications wherein you have not just one database, but these applications depend on a variety of stateful services, right? So object stores are the centerpiece of these stateful services and have become the de facto storage platform for these modern applications that are Kubernetes based, that use containers, that use all of these newer mechanisms like functions, etc. Object stores have become almost the de facto standard for storage for such modern applications. The reason we are seeing the shift is that developers no longer depend on a ticket-based system like they used to before for their storage needs. Rather, they use self-service S3 endpoints for their storage needs, and they directly deploy their stateful volumes and persistence over these object stores. So object stores are also very flexible in the sense that they will service big data applications, analytics applications, as well as regular test dev applications that need ephemeral storage. So object stores come up as a very compelling use case for our modern applications in the enterprise. Likewise, we also see several other applications like MongoDB, Cassandra, and other modern databases, Redis, Kafka, and such other stateful services to suit these modern applications requirements in the enterprise. So not just the nature of these applications is changing. We're also seeing a huge increase in the number of such modern applications coming to the enterprise. So you're seeing some of the statistics on the screen here. We are seeing that for the first time, the line of business is spending more on IT because they are seeing a huge increase in the number of applications that are coming in. And also, by certain estimates, we will see around 500 million applications in the next few years, right? So enterprises are spending a lot of time in developing these applications, and VMware wants to make it as efficient and seamless for these enterprises to build applications. And that is the reason we have acquired a few strategic companies, as well as organically investing in building this support within VMware. So what we are introducing today is the data persistence platform on vSAN, which is essentially a platform and a framework which we offer where the ecosystem partners like Dell EMC can bring in their modern stateful services like object stores, and together this integrated platform and the service layer offer that simplified operational model, right? We offer developers that self-service, automated service deployment, cloud consumption, etc. on vSphere and vSAN, while we are providing a lot of simplified operations and management for our vSphere administrators, right? So they get that simplified operations, integrated monitoring, and we are also introducing the vSAN direct configuration, which is allowing customers to go directly to the underlying bare metal devices that are attached directly to vSphere ESXi nodes to get that cost optimization and storage efficiency from these underlying storage. So in a nutshell, with this platform and the integrated services, our customers will be able to run these modern stateful applications like object stores with lower TCO. They get better bang for the buck from their storage. They're able to get their developers to innovate much faster, develop applications much sooner, and become more agile. And overall, their management and deployment becomes much simplified for their vSphere administrators while they're operating object stores and other stateful services on this platform. So I will hand it off to Lawrence now. I'll stop sharing and he will share his screen.
Thank you, Gopala. I'm Lawrence Chiu, product manager of the Dell EMC object storage product line. So the reason for S3 compatible object storage, as you heard, really lie in the transformation of how applications are developed. Right now, we are now in a day and age where we have software-defined data center, and with Cloud Foundation, application users can quickly get access to an infrastructure, lifecycle management, and all the other automated service out there. But what about storage? What you're going to need is a reliable storage. What you're going to need is a reliable storage that simplifies how you access and then scale those storage infinitely. S3 compatible object storage such as the Dell EMC ECS, and object scale is such a target, right? Object storage is born of the belief that HTTP is the most ubiquitous protocol and that practically unlimited global scaling is required to support next generation of application growth. Without worries about like mounting shares, fiber channels, or other such details, object storage is the one that can give you the simple flexibility, hybrid cloud compatibility, and they also DevOps friendly. By the simple action of provisioning a bucket, you're ready to start. We're now introducing the Object Scale Early Access Platform. It is a simple S3 compatible object storage. It is Kubernetes based. It's a scale out software defined product, and it's also multi-cloud ready. Dell EMC Object Scale Early Access is defined as a pre-general availability beta program for organizations to test object scale code base in your environment. And you can use it on many such existing environments. So how does it work? With vSAN and now with data persistence platform, you can provision persistent volume and management of multiple of these storage services. So object scale builds on top, of this, vSAN and persistent volume foundation. So, and then we add our own internal databases, data protections, and many other storage-specific features to give you a true scale-up architecture. And with these container services running on vSphere, the result is a scalable storage that's easily manageable, configurable, and scalable. Now, when you build application storage, it's exceedingly simple. So with objects, and in enterprise object everywhere, your applications everywhere can run object storage. This object storage is available, everywhere that vSAN persistent data platform and Cloud Foundation would operate. And with software defined, you can accelerate your development, because you don't have to pre-provision a dedicated appliance, which you typically only use none of it on day one. And you can spin up as much or as little storage as you want in your internal cloud environment. And lastly, it offers the same VMware experience. Use the same tools that you know and love. Now let's drill down a little bit into more of the benefits. After all is done with provisioning, then you can grow this storage as you need it, right? So Dell EMC, storage with either ECS or object scale enables you to have like cloud scale, built with a scale out, geo-distributed architecture, so you can keep pace with the capacity demands, wherever your data center resides. You can have global accessibility. You can stand up, remove, add capacity for object scale wherever vSAN data persistent platform runs, right? So edge or in the cloud, right? Have your storage easily co-locate where your application runs. It's your choice. And you can utilize, existing resources, deploy on existing pool of virtualized infrastructure. You can secure, you can stay assured of the security and compliance, with what we have, such as data at rest encryptions, erasure encoding, and all such data protection schemes that we have. It allows you to have peace of mind. And lastly, it's enterprise proven, right? We are the same team that brought you the industry leading object storage with ECS. And we have a long legacy of building storage and the privilege of supporting many of the largest customers in the world. Let us help you. Now, accelerating modern apps. What we're looking at here with cloud native applications, storage is not really one size fit all. Sometimes you may need more metadata services. Sometimes you need higher throughput. And on the right side of the screen, what you're seeing is some example of our microservices in support of various workloads. Our microservice architecture allows us to transparently scale up, down, across the appropriate services at the optimal ratios as you need them. And we take care of managing all the possible failure domains to ensure data availability and resiliency across all the physical assets that you have. Using the tools you know. The simplicity of using the tools you know just cannot be overstated. I mean, obviously the benefits of running object storage containers on Kubernetes alongside your traditional virtualized resources in a single unified experience, and your ability to take advantage of automation that VMware Cloud Foundation gives you. And ultimately, it's really about aligning development and IT, right? Data center operators can use the tools they know to apply policies, assign quotas, and so forth, whereas developers can easily provision infrastructure services on demand while complying with IT data center policies. A couple of examples to just kind of give you like a feel of how you can take advantage of such a global archive, right? So your new application anywhere can directly store data on an object store and then have it be replicated to all around the world. So say you have like a sensor IoT data, you can generate them worldwide, and then at a later time you can analyze them as a central location. So those are amongst of the use cases. And for traditional clients, what you see in the middle of the screen here is a GeoDrive. And it's one of the ways you can take advantage of this utility, which gives your clients, say Windows clients or Mac clients and so forth, an easy way to store data and present an efficient object storage as like a virtually unlimited file share available everywhere. Also, here's an example of how you could deploy it, right? So vSphere and vSAN are in many places now. You can run it on commodity hardware, or even more easily on hyper-converged infrastructures. There are many vendors, that sell those hyper-converged infrastructures. And HCI is already available in edge and co-locations. And with vSAN persistence, data platform, you can now take advantage of any excess capacity and at any of these locations and easily turn those into a dynamic, scalable global archive, right? So all without the need of separately managing a dedicated appliance, right? So it gives you tons of flexibility in how you deploy it, how you want it, when you want it. So let's quickly jump into a demo of our current early access. What you're looking at here is currently running, vSphere cluster, running the vSAN, data persistence platform, and within the vCenter, what you're able to see is what object scale running alongside other type of services, all manageable and seen at one place. So with object store, it's really easy to look at, what you have available and what state they are at. Right. So, for example, if you want to start a new object store, what we can do is just easily jump to the new object store. You type in the name, right? So you can select the version of software you want to run. You can decide on which encoding and protection you want, and for this particular demo, we can, for example, use vSAN, right? And then you just click next, and they give you a sizer, and give you some flexibility on how you want to size up this workload. Depending on how many workload you may have, you can add and then remove it, and these resources will dynamically help you size based on your expected growth and how long you plan to use it. And then there are other optional customization you could choose as well, right? So at the end, depending on how you want your workload size, by the amount of throughput, or other type of characteristics, then you can jump to, how other optional S3 services. So, for example, this screen allow you to specify, different service type. For example, load balancer, taking advantage of NSXT, for instance. And then at the end, you could review it, and then all you have to do is just apply. And then in about 10 minutes or so, typically, then you have like a newly configured object storage. It works just like an appliance. But it is manageable, in the within the vCenter environment, all in one place. So I have some like object storage that's already configured here. Right. So, for example, creating new buckets, setting up the different users attributes, as well as certificates are really simple, all in one place. So you could easily manage events to see who has logged on and so forth in one place. And additionally, if you want to see how your object storage is performing, you can easily go to our Grafana dashboard, for instance. And you can see, how, for example, this example, bucket that I have, how it's performing, right? So the performance metrics, obviously, this is not under heavy load, for this particular cluster. But if it were, you'll be able to see, spikes and valleys, depending on the workload and the times you run it at. So you can do a lot of drill down, as well as, debugging, about your storage performance, very simply. So it gives you a very effective way of managing storage. And once you have the buckets, you can create the new buckets here, or you can create, like a, new bucket, like typical with S3, say an S3 browser, access. So for example, this is an, S3 browser. So what I have here is, for example, I just create a new bucket. I can easily create another new bucket here. I can, see, what are the different files or objects that are in there, right? So this way you can interact with them, very easily. This is just one example. All these are really RESTful API access. So your applications, without going through any of these browsers, can directly access this deep scalable object storage. So now let's quickly jump back, to the end of our presentation here. So what we are, what we have here is, I just want to thank you all, for joining this particular tech talk, this quick tech talk about, object scale and coming to learn more about the vSAN data persistence platform. And if you have more questions, please, do join us on this early access, beta program. And use the link to enroll, objectscale@dell.com. And let's show you what it can do.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gopala, and everybody.